All right, taking a look here at Devin up here in the upper right. First of all, okay. Again, when I look at a swing, we look at back leg first. Okay, we'll also look at the back arm, and then we really want to see that front side, as a nice stable wall to hit behind. Okay, so we're looking at Devin here. The back leg, simple goals of loading and unloading. So there's a load and then a lateral unload. Okay, so our stride should involve both a load and an unload, and you can really see Devin here kind of fighting to stay back. Okay, and so his foot gets down, and that back leg really doesn't unload properly. There's some sideways, press there, but it's really not what we're looking for. Okay, and as you see the swing come through, you can see how Adrian's back foot gains some ground. There's some drive there, and that's usually evidence of a good lateral pressing action. Okay, so, and I think Devin was doing a good job later in the day of using that back leg. We want to use that back leg. Okay, he is creating a pretty good tilt. He's staying leveraged behind that front side. The front foot is a little more open than it needs to be. Still think there's a little bit too much flopping open and trying to turn through the ball there, but not a bad front side there. The back arm, okay, again, if you watch Adrian, you see that elbow work up into the ball. Okay, the elbow stays really bent. You can see how Devin kind of traps the bat behind him. Okay, the barrel kind of lays off and traps behind him and gets really flat, and then the elbow kind of works in. That barrel should stay, a little bit taller and a little bit more away from the body. Shouldn't get quite that close to us. Okay, so real simply, the elbow works up, the elbow works to the ball, and this is the position right here where all the great hitters are in. And Devin's somewhat close to that. Now, as the top hand finishes the throw out front, okay, we really get to this position. You see this position Adrian's in. Okay, you can really see the hands turn over within a couple of frames of contact. So we get contact within about 3 frames. He's over the top, and Devin's still kind of trying to pull around there. Okay, so it's back leg, load, unload, perfect throwing arm, hit behind the front side. That's it. Okay, we'll move down here to Ezra. Okay, we'll start with the back leg, and on this swing, Ezra has pretty good. He starts his stride. Okay, his stride involves both a load. He picks up his foot, it's loaded, and it begins to unload before that heel really drops. That's a pretty good pressing action. Okay, so there's pretty good load and unload there. That's a pretty good natural move. Okay, so we want that stride to take us back and forward. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the front side. Really, when we land here, we want that foot, compare his front foot, Ezra's, to Adrian's. See how square that is? Ezra, when you start with your foot in your stance, see how square it is, and your knee is bent? That's essentially how you want it to land. Okay, so we've got to get away from that flopping. Now, as he hits the ball, there's a decent amount of tilt there. It's not too bad. He's got pretty good leverage. Okay, let's look at the back arm. Okay, we do see the elbow work up with Ezra. The elbow works up. The elbow works into the ball, and we're still pretty stacked there. That's a pretty dang good position. Okay, we're in pretty good shape there. Let's see the top hand finish out. Okay, the hands turn over. That's pretty good. So if we're just tracing that back arm, we see the elbow work up, the elbow slot, the bat still tall. We're in this nice stacked position. And now does that hand contact and then throw over the top? Yes. Okay. So a pretty good overall swing. Ezra, I'd work a lot on staying more square on that front side. Okay. Lastly, Haden. Okay. Let's start off with the back leg. Okay. That's really not too bad. There's a little bit of a negative there. A little bit of tap, but there's pretty good press before the heel lands. There's decent drive there. I would kind of cut out the tapping with the front and just be concerned, Haden, with getting the right leg ready and then unloading it as your first move to the ball. Okay, and then don't be quite so concerned with turning it. But you do get off of the back side, and there's some drive there. Okay, front side. We definitely want to see a little more tilt out of the upper. Okay, a little more tilt here and a little less turn. Your shoulders are really flying open as you look at Adrian there. Okay, you can still see his chest really, as he hits the ball. Especially back it up a frame right there. Okay, so more tilt, less turn out of the upper. The other thing is, like we talked about, that back arm pattern. Okay, we want to see the elbow work up and then work to the ball. See how when your elbow begins to come, your hands are coming with it, okay? So you don't get to this position that Adrian's showing here, okay? Your elbow and hands kind of come together, and then like I was telling you, we were going to see this position here with this back arm really bent like this, okay? We want to be much closer to that arm beginning to finish here, okay? And then right after contact, that thing's going to straighten out and get over the top. Okay, if you look at your throwing arm, you just keep kind of spinning around the corner. That right arm never finishes. We've got to get a better top hand throwing arm with you, Hayden.